Hi, it's Russ from Pro Tools Expert, and I was sent over a copy of the Nerve rhythm generator from the guys over at Xfer Records. Steve Duda emailed me and sent it over, and it's basically a rhythm machine on steroids, which allows you to create pretty complex patterns, either in step time, which is always nice for Pro Tools users because we don't actually have a step rhythm created within Pro Tools, so that can be something that for those of us that create dance stuff can be a pain in the ass sometimes, and so to have something like this is very helpful. Anything that gives you step input for drums is nice. So it's a sampling drum machine, so you can actually drag your own samples into it, you can map your own samples. It's pretty deep and pretty rich, and then you can do some pretty complex stuff. The other cool thing as well is you can then do your own performance-based stuff down here, where you can do all sorts of stuff right down to micro triggering and get those really nice stuttered beat effects live as you're playing, or play them in during the track. So to go through it top to bottom, here we have the main menus where we can go through, choose drum kits, pad patterns, kit patterns, scores, which are basically songs, grooves, and presets as well. And we could go in and load them in. It comes with 2 gigabytes of sample library, which is pretty dance orientated, of course, but at the same time it's got some pretty cool stuff. So we can literally play something like this. Now that's playing in a chain at the moment. You can see there at the end. So these are the patterns there. So I could just choose number 1 instead. Just stop that for a second, go to here and get to number 1. Put some snares in. Cut off. Do the same with the hi-hats. And there, here's the actual filter that's running. So at the moment it's using a band pass, so we could go to a high pass instead. Change the resonance there. Just solo that for a second. You can hear that going. Do all sorts of cool stuff like that. And you can see that working there. So let's load up another drum kit. Let's start with something like this. Let's go to the kick here. This is a good example because now we can also come in now and we could change the envelope of that drum sound altogether. We can make it much shorter. There's the second big long one. Then we've got reverb built in. And again we can got full control there over this nice tail reverb. And also we've got really good control in terms of LFO, so good like the hi-hats here, and we go and just solo those again. Just come out of there for a second and do things like add pan to that. quite slow at the moment. We could speed that up on a bar at the moment. Got a pitch to that as well. Cut off. Res. And level changes. Change the shape of it as well. Triangle at the moment. So let's load something back in again. Let's load in this first one, and let's also load in a pattern now, a kit pattern, very basic one. Let's come out the LFO. Now, as I say, these buttons here are performance controls. The great thing is they're also mapped to the keyboard, so I can play them. So I've already recorded that in as MIDI here. So if I play this now, turn that back on and play this loop, you'll hear this playing, and I've already recorded in this part, which are different notes on the keyboard. So it's as simple as that. We can dot it as well. Or triplet. And while that's playing, we could go through and try some more kits now. Go back to the kit side of it. Nice 909 kit. You can hear some great sounds in there. Now the cool thing is as well is instead of loading single one shots into there, you can actually put loops into these as well. You can literally drag and drop stuff into these sample things. These are the pads basically. And you can just put anything you like in there. So if you have a loop of 120 BPM, for example, you could put that in there and just drag and drop it in. It could play the loop, and you can slice the loop as well. Nice thing is as well, you can drag and drop everything from here. Now, as you can see, as I'm hovering over this now, it gives us a load of commands we can use. And one of them, of course, is we can actually either just drag out a single sample out that we've created from one of the pads, or we can get the whole lot by pressing Shift, Alt, and Command, and then just dragging that whole lot here to Pro Tools. It takes a second, but then it will mean that we've got the audio here that we've just created. Of course, we could then do it again. We could load something else in, different pattern. Let's get in one here. Play those two together now. now we've got a loop playing and a performance playing over it. Try a different sound again. One of the Richard Devine ones. So as you can see, there's a lot of variation in the sound. Tons and tons of kits. As I say, 2 gigabytes of drum kits. And it doesn't take long, as I say, just to build up a really cool groove. Now finally, what you can also do, of course, is you can actually just record the stuff in real time as well. So we can actually go in. In fact, we'll go into the menu here and we'll clear everything, and we'll load in the drum kit. We'll load in, let's try one of these again. Let's try number 3 there. See how that sounds. So what we can do, we can choose a pattern. We can put it into record here. And we can start it going. Let's just mute these 2 out. Let's also lose all of this in the timeline here. What I'm going to do quickly is just go into a new part. There we go. And we'll go for... Don't even need to loop it for now. We're just going to put it into record and go for it. So let's play that. And as you can see, I just record it in. Then of course I can then go through that and change anything I want to change. Pitch that snare down a bit. And again, come to the hi-hats, go onto the LFO. You see, it's very, very powerful. So there we are. If you're working in beats and you're looking for something powerful that you can get really deep into, and it works very, very well within Pro Tools, it's got all the things that you want, such as drag and drop the audio into it. You can drag the audio onto the pads, you can drag the pads back out to Pro Tools, you can drag the patterns out to Pro Tools in audio. You've got full control in terms of live, where you can re-trigger it afterwards like I showed you earlier. Then this is one well worth taking a look at. I think we need to keep an eye on the guys at Xfer Records because they're producing some great, great tools for creating music production. And big thumbs up from me. Check it out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.